The crack of his palm against my face echoed through the dining room like a thunderclap in a quiet storm. 1 second I was sitting there, fork halfway to my mouth. The next my head snapped sideways, pain exploding across my left cheek. Blood filled my mouth where my teeth had cut the inside of my lip. The table fell into stunned silence. Silverware hovered midair. No one moved. My name is Elena Harper. At 34. Freshly divorced and scraping by on contract audits at MedTech Solutions. I never thought I'd be back in my childhood home in Oakwood Hills, Michigan, feeling like an intruder in the place that once felt safe. 6 months earlier, after the divorce papers were signed and the savings account drained by lawyer fees, I'd moved in with my mother Laura as a temporary fix, just until I could afford my own apartment again. But nothing about this house felt temporary anymore. Richard Harlan, my mother's husband of 3 years, ruled this place like a feudal lord. Owner of Harlan and Associates Construction, he built luxury subdivisions across the Midwest. The power balance shifted the moment he moved in. Morning started with his announcements over coffee. Dinner at 6 sharp. Elena, your mother values punctuality. He never looked up from his tablet. Mom used to be the one who laughed easily. Ate takeout on the couch watching old sitcoms. Now she sat ramrod straight at the formal dining table, nodding along to every rule Richard laid down. I kept my full-time job reviewing medical device contracts, catching compliance violations that saved the company millions. Yet somehow I handled most of the cooking, cleaning, and hosting for Richard's extended family. His brother, sister-in-law, adult son with wife and kids, they dropped by unannounced. Feed on furniture, expecting service like it was their birthright. You're lucky Richard lets you stay, his sister-in-law said once, piling food onto her plate from the lunch I'd prepped. Not many men would support their wife's divorced daughter. Support. That's the word he used. Never mind the rent checks I wrote monthly, the groceries bought on my card, the maintenance I handled. In Richard's story, he was the generous provider. I was the charity case dragging everyone down. The house itself had been remade in his image. Mom's warm antiques and family photos disappeared. Cold leather sofas, chrome accents, and sleek modern pieces took over. Richard installed a full smart hub system, speakers in every room, cameras at entrances, automated locks. Security, he called it. But I noticed the patterns. His office door always locked when he stepped out. Hush phone calls that cut off when footsteps approached. Invoices for high-end appliances. Marble countertops. Designer furniture. All billed to Harlan and Associates. Supposedly for model homes in his flagship Oakwood Meadows project. A $70 million development. He bragged about it at meals after his second whiskey. Oakwood Meadows is my masterpiece. Phase 2 funding is locked in. Investors are fighting over it. I'd bite my tongue on corrections, like how it was chomping at the bit, not champing. Corrections challenged his authority. And I'd learned the cost of that. Mom developed selective blindness. When Richard snapped orders or mocked my temporary setback, she'd smooth it over later. He's under pressure. Honey, the business is demanding. We just keep the peace. Keep the peace. Swallow the pride. Don't rock the boat. The walls felt tighter each day. I caught my reflection in the bathroom mirror at work or in my car during lunch and wondered how I'd become this shadow version of myself, tiptoeing through what should have been home. But compliance work had sharpened my eye. I documented quietly the mismatched invoices, mood swings tied to deadlines, investor dinners at upscale lounges, known more for nightlife than boardrooms. That Tuesday evening, after a long day auditing high-stakes contracts, I came home to find Richard's relatives had emptied the fridge. I scrambled dinner from leftovers. Pot roast, his favorite, despite the summer heat turning the kitchen into an oven. 6 place settings because his brother and family were joining again. The tightness in my chest was familiar now. 3 more months of this. Save for first month's rent, security deposit, utilities, escape. Richard thought his kingdom unbreakable. The smart hub system he installed to flaunt success would prove him wrong. But I didn't know that yet. Dinner began with his usual monologue. "The investors are eating out of my hand," Richard declared, carving his roast aggressively. "Tomorrow's board call is pure formality. Phase 2 is guaranteed." "Wonderful, dear," Mom murmured automatically. His brother nodded eagerly. "Those Hartwell people are bleeding cash. No vision." Richard's face hardened at the rival mention. The stories looped endlessly, his connections, his genius, his chess moves while others played checkers. But tonight his bluster carried a desperate edge, like a man overselling a shaky deal. When he claimed some obscure financing group was making him the face of their fund, it struck me as absurd. A small laugh slipped out before I could stop it. The table froze. "Something funny?" Richard's voice dropped dangerously low. I scrambled. "Just a work thing. Compliance joke." "You wouldn't." He set his fork down precisely. "You saying I'm too dumb for your fancy medical device humor?" Mom tried intervening. "Richard." "She didn't. Shut up." "Laura." His eyes pinned mine. "My table. My food. My roof. And you laugh at me?" The slap came lightning fast. Palm connected hard. Chair scraped. Pain bloomed hot and sharp. Blood dripped from my nose onto the tablecloth. Silence stretched. Mom froze, reaching out. His brother stared at his plate. No one spoke. "You need to learn respect," Richard stood, looming. "I've tolerated your attitude, your failure dragging this house down. But laughing at me? No." My nose bled freely. Mom's voice cracked. "You can't. She's my daughter. Your daughter's a 34-year-old leech living off my charity. Pack and leave tonight if you don't like my rules." "Mom," I whispered through blood. Pleading. She looked torn, tears falling, but chose the familiar path. "Elena, maybe clean up. We'll calm down." The betrayal stung deeper than the slap. His family murmured agreement, resuming eating like nothing happened. "Pass the potatoes. Roast is dry anyway." Typical Elena. I stumbled to the bathroom, grabbing my phone instinctively, turning on camera. Evidence. In the mirror, perfect handprint blooming red-purple. Swelling lip. Blood. I photographed everything. 20 minutes later, cleaning up, I heard Richard's voice, angry, muffled, broadcasting from every smart hub speaker in the house. Quarterly projection solid, but permits killing us. Then the damning part. That Elena, living like a parasite, looking down on me. I showed her who runs this house. My blood chilled. The speakers were live with his board Zoom call. His laptop had auto-paired to the kitchen's smart hub microphone. The entire board, 12 members, investors, CFO, was hearing the assault confession in real time. I crept toward the living room, heart pounding. Richard's laptop sat open on the coffee table. Camera off. Audio connected. Participant list. Board chair. CFO Thompson. Major investors. Chat exploding. Is someone else on this call? What are we listening to? Victor, your mic is hot. But Richard, still in the dining room ranting. Couldn't see the messages. Slapped that smirk right off her face. His voice boomed through speakers. About time someone taught her respect. Then worse, bleeding all over my tablecloth. Drama queen. Laura's spineless. Won't do anything. Problem with women today. No respect for authority. Mom's weak plea followed. Richard, please. Finish dinner. His slurred continuation after scotch. Elena thinks she's smart, but she's nothing. Failed marriage. Failed life. The chat spiraled into chaos. Legal counsel noting recordings. Investors questioning assault admission. Board chair calling emergency session. Someone force-ended his connection. But the damage was done. 47 minutes of crystal-clear audio saved to cloud, including fraud hints. Thompson keeps asking about receipts. Kitchen renos. Like I'm stealing. It's creative accounting. Every developer does it. Model home write-offs. Furniture. The Smart Hub LED glowed blue. Active. I pull my phone. Logged into his Zoom via saved family computer credentials. Screenshots flew. Participant list. Chat. Recording enabled. Timestamp. His family fled. Doors slammed. Car started. I slipped back, locking bathroom door as his footsteps thundered. Neighbor's doorbell rang, Mrs. Ellis, next door. Ring camera captured Richard yanking the door open. Blood on shirt. Snarling threats. Mind your business. Slam. I sat on the cold tile. Phone clutched, watching the meeting implode. 47 minutes of confession, assault, fraud admissions. For the first time in months, a fierce smile broke through the pain. His showcase of power had become his undoing. By 3 a.m., my bedroom became command central. Laptop tabs glowed. Michigan assault statutes. Corporate fraud laws. Whistleblower protections. Compliance instinct surged. Document. Organize. Protect. First, download the Zoom recording, 3 encrypted backups. USB. Secure cloud. Emailed to trusted law school friend Sarah Chen, now senior associate at a top firm. Home log showed exact connection. Laptop to kitchen speaker. 47 minutes 33 seconds. Ring footage. Time-stamped neighbor confrontation. Blood visible. Sarah's text. Safe. He's passed out. Meet at office in an hour. Bring everything. Photograph injuries now with newspaper for date. I moved like a ghost through the house. Office door ajar. Forgotten in drunken rage. Papers everywhere. Invoices for $47,000 kitchen appliances billed as model unit but humming in our kitchen. $23,000 furniture as staging. $15,000 home theater as conference equipment. All delivered here. Serial numbers matched. Photos snapped without disturbing placement. His computer still logged in. Emails to CFO about managing books for investors. Restructuring personal expenses. Forwarded to draft in my account. By 5 a.m., Sarah's office, her face hardened reviewing evidence. This is devastating. Assault on tape plus fraud. Federal territory. Guide fraud. Tax evasion. Infestar deception. We filed emergency protection order petition with photos. Medical device contract expertise highlighted. Litigation hold letter to company. Preserve all docs. Emails. Speaker logs. Zoom from that date. Ex-part order would remove him immediately. Are you ready for your mother's reaction? Sarah asked. I pictured her at dinner choosing peace over me. She made her choice. I'm making mine. By 7:30 a.m., papers ready. Protection order granted swiftly on evidence strength. Served at 11 a.m. My phone exploded. Mom's texts. Richard's rage threats. Unknown board assistant Mara reaching out discreetly. Board taking assault and fraud seriously. Contact info available if you wish to share voluntarily. Mrs. Ellis called next. I have footage of him at door. Blood. Threats. Overlap cameras caught prior incidents too. Screaming by your car. Throwing your bag. Done being scared. Allies surfaced. Contractor confirmed appliances routed to residents. Unpaid bills. Fired project manager offered fraud docs. CFO Thompson met secretly at coffee shop. 8 years covering for him. Real reports here. Phantom invoices. Shell companies. Heard assault confession. Won't go down with him. Contacted SEC, whistleblower line. Protection order executed with police escort. Richard removed. House quiet. Mom sat stunned at kitchen table. He's my husband. He's abuser who assaulted your daughter.
Mom.
Criminal who built our life on lies. I packed essentials. Checked into hotel. Messages poured. Investors pulling funding. Board members apologizing. Employees sharing stories. Lead investor Jake Morrison. Pulling phase 2. But you showed guts. Call if you need references. By evening, I typed SEC whistleblower report. Each page shed the old, fearful self who tiptoed. Afraid to laugh. News alerts hit. Construction CEO arrested after smart speaker broadcasts assault confession.
Audio leaked.
Dissected online. The board meeting loomed at Ridgeview Conference Center. Sarah and I arrived early. Evidence organized into exhibits. Transcripts highlighted.
Logs.
Footage. Serial match photos. Emails. Security checked us in. Eyes widening. We were expected. Boardroom 3. Mahogany table. 12 directors. Counsel. Investors. Chair Patricia Evans granite-faced. Richard burst in late. Lawyer trailing. Claiming setup. Evans cut him off. Sarah presented coolly. Slide 1. Zoom transcript. Slapped that smirk. Creative accounting. Model home write-offs. Richard reddened then paled. Out of context. Slide 2. Smart Hub connection logs proving auto broadcast. Slide 3. Ring footage. Bloodied shirt. Neighbor threats. Slide 4. My injury photos. Dated. Slide 5. Invoices versus actual kitchen photos. CFO Thompson confirmed serial matches publicly. Earning Richard's snarl and immediate firing attempt, overruled as whistleblower protected. Slide 6. Side-by-side comparisons totaling $127,000 fraudulent personal charges over 18 months. Slide 7. Office footage of Richard loading company purchased electronics into truck. Board scribbled furiously. One investor recorded discreetly. Evans addressed me. Anything to add?
Yes.
Harper. I stood. Richard told dinner guests investors ate from his hand. Meeting formality. He was wrong. This isn't revenge, it's compliance. I document violations for a living. He called me paper pusher. These papers pushed him out. Chaos erupted, demands.
Investor lawsuits triatenet.
Richard screaming conspiracy. Evans gavel banged. Board voted. Terminated effective immediately. Security escort out. Cards cancelled. Access revoked. I built this. Richard protested. Public corporation with fiduciary duties. Evans replied coldly. Thompson, interim CEO. Restraining order served on spot. 500-foot limit. No contact. Arrest on violation. As security dragged him, he snarled at me. You think you've won? I'll ruin you. Sarah handed lawyer the order. Doors closed on his final threats. Evans apologized on behalf of board. Jake Morrison offered head of compliance role across portfolio. $180,000 start. Bonuses for prevention. Autonomy in integrity division. Situation at manufacturing sub needs your skills. Thompson noted substantial SEC reward potential. Outside. Through glass. Richard's arrest unfolded. Officers waiting. Cuffs clicking. Under arrest for assault. Battery. A criminal fraud. Right to remain silent. He raged. You know who I am? Officer calm. Man who confessed on recorded call. Phones out. Perp walk captured. Local news. Industry blogs exploding by noon. Forensic auditors arrived. Preliminary fraud over $500,000. FBI interest likely. Mom called. Saw alert. Arrested him. House quiet. Found more receipts. Whole life on lies. Called divorce lawyer. Sorry for dinner. For not protecting you. Proud of you.
Tears came.
Come to hotel. Figure next steps together. I'd like that. Champagne delivery for Mrs. Ellis. Bravest neighbor. Moving truck gone. Good riddance. Former employees message stories. Investors thanked exposure. Women shared courage sparked. Landry no. Harper Protocol? Board later voted new ethics policies named after my recommendations. By midnight, SEC confirmed submission. Reward potential six figures, fresh start money.
Help for Mom, too.
The days blurred into legal momentum. Protection order held firm. Richard's attempts at contact blocked. Companies scrambled under interim leadership. Implementing holds. Cooperating with investigators. My new role offer solidified interview Monday. Full autonomy to probe concerns portfolio-wide. Enemies inevitable. But companies saved from self-destruction. Mom arrived at hotel tentative. We talked late. Her blindness from fear. Economic dependence. Habit of peace at any cost. You stood up when I couldn't. Reconciliation slow but real. She moved temporarily nearby. Divorce proceedings starting. Shared evidence helped her case too. Whistleblower protections kicked in. Thompson and I coordinated safely.
SEC interview Torg.
Reward process lengthy but promising. News cycle intense. Smart home backfire. CEO's dinner rage broadcasts fraud.
Audio clips viral.
Public outrage fueling scrutiny. Richard's empire crumbled visibly. Phase 2 funding collapsed. Investors sued civilly. Licensing board investigations opened. Reputation in tatters. Construction circles whispered his name as cautionary tale. I walked into my first day at the new firm empowered. Desk overlooking city. Team ready. First assignment. Manufacturing subsidiary red flags mirroring Richard's patterns. My skills, once belittled, now valued precisely for catching what others missed. Evenings brought reflection. The handprint faded, but memory lingered. Technology meant to display power betrayed its owner. One laugh. One slap. One accidental connection toppled the throne. Self-respect. Not revenge. Drove documentation. Compliance wasn't weakness, it was quiet power. Allies multiplied. Contractors. Ex-employees. Neighbors. Truth had momentum once exposed. Mom and I rebuilt slowly, dinners without tension. Shared laughter genuine. Months later, the whistleblower reward deposited, significant enough for Mom's fresh start and my stability. Richard faced charges stacking. Assault. Fraud variance. Plea deals unlikely given recordings. Prison time probable. Company restructured ethically. My protocol influencing industry standards indirectly. My career soared. Leading integrity division meant preventing disasters proactively. Enemies surfaced, but backing strong. The slap scar, emotional more than physical, faded into fuel. Sitting with Mom one evening. Quiet house, now ours temporarily. We pondered. Loyalty to abuser versus child. Technology's double edge. Justice's unexpected paths. The story left questions. How often do we ignore red flags for peace? When does documentation become duty? Self-respect's cost and reward. I smiled at the old photo of my injured face. Evidence. Survival.
Victory.
The kingdom fell not by external force but internal broadcast. Grace period over. Respect earned through truth. In a world of smart devices and hidden ledgers, one moment of unchecked rage can unravel empires. But courage to record.
To speak.
To stand, That's the real power. What would you have done at that dinner table?